In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use one of the Office 365 application called Forms. Forms is a relatively new application that's been added to Office 365, and it was designed with teachers in mind. And what it allows you to do is to create interactive assessments or polls that you can distribute to your students so that they can take quizzes, assessments online, and they can automatically be graded by Microsoft Forms. So once you've logged into Office 365, you're going to look for the Forms application. And once the Forms application loads, you're going to see there's two different types of options within Forms. You can create a form which is more like a poll or a survey, and that's where you wouldn't pre-select a correct choice when you give answer choices. And then you have the option that says New Quiz, which is more like the traditional quiz format that you're used to using, where you can pre-select the correct choice so that it's automatically graded. If you've used Forms before, you will see all the other forms listed here, and they generally go in the order from the most recent one you've created to the oldest. So what we're going to do for this video is going to learn how to create a new quiz. So you're going to click on New Quiz, and you can see it's pretty bare bones when it first opens up. The first thing you're going to want to do is name your quiz here, and just by clicking on it, you'll be able to name it. And below where you would title it, where the description area is, this is optional, but this is an area where you can put any specific directions that you want your students to read before they begin this quiz. Once you've put in this general information, then you're going to start adding content. By clicking Add a Question, you get a number of different choices to choose from. Choice is the most obvious choice. This is where if you wanted to create a multiple choice question, you could select that, and then you would be able to add a multiple choice. Text allows you to create either a short answer or a long answer type of question. Rating is pretty self-explanatory, as is date. And then if you click on the ellipse over here, you'll also have a few other choices, which we're not going to go too much into in this video. So what we're going to start out with is we're going to do a multiple choice question. So you're going to click on choice, and then you're going to see in the provided boxes an area where you can put your question, an area where you can put your answer choices, and then by default it gives you 2, but then you can also add additional ones if you want a more traditional 4 options to choose from. You'll see as I click on each one of these things, I get these little icons next to each one of my answer choices. This is to delete one of the choices. This is to leave feedback. So if a student picks option 1, whether it's right or wrong, you can leave them feedback based on why this is right or wrong. And then the most important thing is you're going to be clicking the check mark next to the correct choice. You also, below the question area, will add a point value. So depending on how many questions are in this quiz, you can assign it however many points you want. Do you want multiple answers to be allowed as the correct choice? If so, you would click on this. And one of the most important things you're going to want to click on here is, do you want this question to be required? If you don't make the question required, the students could potentially submit their test, their assessment when they're done without answering all of the questions. So this is something you're definitely going to want to click. And down here, when you click over here, you do have a few other options if you wanted to create a subtitle, if you wanted to shuffle the answer choices within each question, if you wanted to change the way the answer choices appeared, whether it's drop down, and then a fairly newly added feature is this math feature over here. So if you were going to be doing some kind of math test and you wanted additional symbols, by clicking on math, once you put your cursor in the box, you're going to see you get all of these different math symbols that you could use as well. If you're not doing math, you can just turn that off, and then that feature will go away. So we're going to start entering the content for our first question. So we have our question and we have our answer choices, and we have to remember to pre-select the correct answer so that this is graded automatically. And then we're going to assign it a point value. Again, depending on how many questions you have in here, this can be changed. And then once you have completed that, what you can do is click add a question, and then you can start to select another type of question. Now you'll notice when I choose the type of question, we'll do a text question in this one, the point value is automatically carried over. Forms assumes that you want the point value for all your questions to be the same. So if you don't make any changes to the additional questions you add, the point value will remain at 3. And the other nice thing is once you make the first question required, it will automatically default to required for the rest of the questions. However, when you do create a new quiz, these things will disappear and you'll have to pick them again. So just make sure that you pay attention to that. You can see here the difference between a multiple choice and a short answer, long answer type of text question is instead of the answer choices, you get an area where the students would type in their answer. Now, for a short answer like this one, you could actually type in an answer if it's very specific, and then if it matches directly what the student typed in, it will automatically be graded for you. However, if there are spelling errors when the students type in their answer, they're going to get it wrong. So the other option is, if you want to hand grade this, is that you could change this from a short answer to a long answer, and then the students have a larger text box to put their answer in. The other features you have with each question, you'll notice here at the top you get a couple of different icons. If you wanted to duplicate a question or copy a question, you could do that from here. If you wanted to delete a question, you can use that trash can icon. If you want to reorder your questions, once you have a number of questions on here, you'll see up and down arrow, so you can move your questions up and down. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory, so you will continue to click add a question for as many times as you want. You'll choose the type of question that you want. We'll do a rating here. This one, of course, is not going to be automatically graded, so it's one that you will have to either manually grade or the students automatically get points for it. But you can, again, choose whichever type of question you want and continually add an unlimited amount of questions for your quiz, and the point value will increase up here. Anything that you want to edit, all you need to do is click on it, and then you will get all the editing features to it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to add images and pictures or videos to your questions, and it's a pretty simple method to do, but there's a number of different ways you can do it.